Osrc News at 7. World Humanitarian Day. Stakeholders highlight sustainable strategies on flooding. INEC urges Ondo residents to participate in continuous voters registration exercise. Airplane face-off, NCAA takes measures on electronic devices. And from the foreign scene, Hamas agrees to ceasefire proposal as thousands flee Gaza.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7. My name is Oyewumi Ayinibara. Today is World Humanitarian Day, as day set aside to honor courageous individuals on the reaffirm commitments to supporting communities facing crisis across Nigeria, including on the state. This year's theme, strengthening global solidarity and empowering local communities, underscores the urgent need for international cooperation while ensuring that local communities are not merely recipients of aid, but active participants and leaders in building their recovery and resilience. Nifemi Abayomi reports.
World Humanitarian Day, observed annually on the 19th August, calls for global attention to the tireless efforts of aid workers and the resilience of crisis-affected communities. In Nigeria, conflict, climate shocks, and economic instability have driven the humanitarian need to a staggering level. According to the UN's 2025 Humanitarian Needs and Response Plan, 7.8 million Nigerians require humanitarian assistance, including 3.6 million people in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe State, with UN appealing for over $910 million to support them. Across the country, food insecurity have reached alarming proportions, with nearly 31 million Nigerians experiencing acute hunger. In the Northeast, the World Food Programme have warned that due to funding cuts starting August, more than 1.3 million people may lose access to food aid. 150 nutrition clinics in Borno may close, and 3 children are at risk of severe malnutrition.
The government, in its wisdom, has several programs to support communities during crisis. One of them is the National Emergency Management Authority, which ensures that whenever there is an humanitarian crisis, whenever we have, we also have climatic conditions that they always step in to ensure that they give support to those who are vulnerable, who have been affected or impacted by such crisis.
Today, the demand for humanitarian aid have reached staggering levels, with over 305 million people in crisis across 72 countries, with Nigeria accounting for a significant share of this figure.
You know, the country is populated by many people. The kind of people in Nigeria, they cannot be. They are counting them. But as you can see, many number of people, especially in the northern states, in the southern, the east, the people are true ones. And the fact that we are under one leadership, the president, from the Senate to also the governors there, when you look at it, there is no way they can handle and maintain everybody to our satisfaction.
From flooding to internal conflict and other disasters, the National Emergency Agency, NEMA, has played a vital role in rescuing victims and delivering relief materials. Yet, officials acknowledge that despite their efforts, many people in need still remain unreached. In Ondo State, seasonal flooding remains a persistent challenge. Poor drainage system, construction on waterways, and heavy rainfall have combined to cause recurrent floods that destroy homes, farmlands, and livelihoods. Every rainy season, residents in communities such as Owo, Akure, and the larger coastal areas face the grim threat of displacement. For many families, humanitarian support, ranging from food distribution to temporary shelter, remains their only lifeline. The Ondo State Emergency Management Agency, ODSEMA, working in collaboration with NEMA and the Red Cross, continues to play a crucial role in disaster response and relief operations.
The community leaders, the cabinet, NGOs were all involved. We have the National Emergency Management Agency in Abuja, which is the federal government agency. As such, an office is expected to be replicated in all the 36 states of the Federation. So our own here is called OD7, that is Ondo State Emergency Management. So we have very strong collaboration.
All these government efforts, communities are calling for stronger humanitarian actions, particularly in strategies that focus on long-term resilience rather than short-term relief.
Every day and then a lot of complaints when we are in the rainy season now. Even in my hometown, Ondo State, like a lot of people complain about this flood. It destroys property, destroy a lot of things which you cannot even imagine. I only urge the government, especially they should please assist in the area of this.
As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark World Humanitarian Day 2025, Ondo State sent a clear message. Global solidarity is vital, but true strength begins at the grassroots level. Oluwanifemi Abayomi, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, flooding remains one of the most frequent and devastating natural disasters, causing loss of lives, displacement and destruction of property. While heavy rainfall and climate change are major triggers, poor urban planning, blocked waterways and weak infrastructure often worsen the impact. Engineers play a critical role in mitigating and managing flooding disasters. Nifemi Abayomi again tells us more.
Flooding has become one of Nigeria's most pressing environmental challenges. In 2020, the country witnessed one of its worst incidents in decades, displacing over 2 million people, claiming more than 600 lives. Just 2 years later, in 2024, several states were despite repeated warnings and billions of naira allocated to flood control projects. Experts, especially engineers, identify poor urban planning and lack of proper drainage system as major culprits. Many Nigerian cities rely on open drains that are either poorly designed or left without regular maintenance. When solid waste blocks these limited channels, rainwater overflows, swallowing streets and entire communities.
That the negative impact will more than the positive impact. It's better to drop it, because from the starting point to the end point of that project, if you don't be careful, you can lose more lives. And in project delivery, safety first.
Another problem is widespread action on what existing urban development laws. In many cases, residents, aided by corrupt officials, build houses and shops on natural floodplains and drainage routes, obstructing water flow and rendering neighborhoods vulnerable to flooding with every rainfall. Beyond technical design, engineers play a vital role in environmental impact assessment reports meant to guide construction projects. But weak enforcement of EIA recommendations often allows substandard infrastructure to pass. The Nigerian Society of Engineers has intensified advocacy for sustainable and green infrastructure, urging governments to invest in climate-smart solutions such as improved drainage systems, eco-friendly urban layouts, and renewable energy integration. But there is another risk: quacks posing as engineers. Many clients hire them because they charge, but the result is often poorly executed projects, making communities more susceptible to flooding.
Most time, what we are facing as a profession is the issue of quackery. So, and we are trying our best to stamp it out. Now you can imagine somebody that is molding blocks. Before you know, they call themselves an engineer. And you go and engage them because of their charge, which is not professional. So instead of patronizing the professional, they prefer to patronize the quack.
The persistence of urban flooding in Nigeria underscores a deeper problem, and engineering practice.
When we are talking about addressing the issue of society, we mean that it is not left in the hand of the engineers alone. The public, the politicians, should listen to professional advice, not what they want to do. Because that is what is creating problems in most times. So if they listen to professional advice and allow professionals to work according to their ethics, then coming to the local, I also want to employ every one of us. Don't block the drains.
Until authorities, city planners and engineers work together to enforce urban laws, maintain infrastructure and adopt climate adaptation strategies, Nigerian cities will remain at the mercy of preventable disasters.
The Federal High Court City in Abuja has granted the request by the Department of State Services DSS seeking to shield the identities of the witnesses that would give evidence in the trial of the 5 alleged attackers of the Catholic Church in Owo, who claimed the lives of over 100 others injured. The trial judge, Justice Emeka Nwite, granted the request in a ruling following an ex parte application filed and argued via the DSS, which stated that terrorism cases are so sensitive that witnesses must be protected on order of the courts. Having not opposed to the application, Justice Nwite granted the request and ordered to reveal names and identities of those to testify in the matter. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break. Airplane face-off. NCCA takes measures on electronic devices. We'll bring you this and many more after the break. Please stay with us.
Nigerians' commitment to achieving universal health care coverage is reflected in the unwavering dedication of my admin to uphold this right for every individual, young or old, in rural or urban areas. Health is not merely the absence of disease, but the embodiment of physical, mental, and social well-being. It is a fundamental human right.
Nigeria as a global agricultural powerhouse, supplying quality produce to international markets while ensuring every citizen has access to affordable nutrition.
By Grassroots Movement for Tinubu GMT, Ondo State Charity, in God we trust.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial *900# and recharge ₦100 or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m. all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial *900#. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win MTN Mega Billion promo.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The Anambra State Police Command has confirmed the assault on a corps member Jennifer Elobo by members of the state security outfit. The police in the state the ongoing investigation into the assault and public stripping of Elobo by operatives of the state security failure to appear. A video reportedly went viral on the operatives armed with guns who stormed the corps members' lodge, accused them of being internet fraudsters despite showing their identification cards and uniforms. The operatives were seen beating the female corps members despite return in the process. leaving eye exposed. The attack has, however, triggered outrage on social media, with many Nigerians condemning the actions of the vigilante group and demanding justice for the victim. The State Police Command added that the suspects involved have been identified and arrested. President Bola Tinubu has approved a reduction in the cost of kidney dialysis from the current 50,000 naira to 12 federal hospitals across the country. The information, Daniel Wala, who disclosed this, said with this intervention, the price reduction will bring relief to thousands of citizens battling kidney-related diseases. According to Wala, the subsidy is already being implemented in major federal hospitals across the 6 geopolitical zones. The hospitals include the Federal Medical Center FMC Ibutemeta Lagos, Federal Medical Center FMC Jabi Abuja, University College Hospital UCH Ibadan, and the Federal Medical Center FMC Owerri. Others are the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital UMTH Maiduguri, the Federal Medical Center FMC Abeokuta, Lagos University Teaching Hospital Luth, Lagos, Federal Medical Center FMC Azare, University of Benin Teaching Hospital UBTH Benin, and the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital UCTH Calabar. It is closed that more federal medical centers and teaching hospitals will be added before the end of the year to widen access nationwide. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has commenced the nationwide continuous voter registration exercise online. According to INEC, eligible Nigerians can register through the portal www.cbr.inecnigeria.org ahead of the physical registration exercise scheduled to begin on August 25, 2025. Our correspondent Abidemi Akerutoye reports.
In a democratic society, voting is a fundamental right that empowers citizens to choose their leaders. But to exercise these rights, citizens must first be registered as eligible voters. In Ondo State, the resident Commissioner Oluwatoyin Babalola announced the commencement of online voter registration across all 18 local government areas of the state.
We have started today pre-registration. That is for people to start their registration. You can put in your name, what you need to do before you now go in physically next week Monday to start for physical registration, because you cannot take your biometrics there and you will not capture by yourself. So you have to do that at the local government office.
According to the REC, the continuous registration exercise is aimed at capturing eligible citizens who are yet to register, ensuring an accurate and credible voter register.
All those who are not qualified at that time on the ground of age and have turned 18 now, this is another opportunity for them to come out and register as voters. We have people that had issues with their PVC during the last registration, during the last election. They will come out now, make their complaints, and get all the issues solved. Citizens that have changed location from where they were before, where they registered, have the opportunity to transfer their registration to their new location. They also have people that are doing updates. My address has changed, I need to change my record. My name has changed, I'm now married, I need to change my record. So anyone that has any updates for this to do during this exercise, this is another opportunity.
The Commission, however, cautioned against multiple registrations, warning that violators will face penalties.
We had a press briefing and we made them to understand the purpose of the CVR, those who are eligible to participate in the exercise. Aside from this, we started the program 2 weeks ago. We have been going to faith-based organizations. We have gone to churches, we have sent our staff to mosques, and we are still going to do more. As we are doing in Akure here, the state capital, our local government offices too, they have sent in their schedules and they are already going to churches and mosques in the various local governments. So people are aware, and we will still improve on our efforts to ensure that eligible citizens of Ondo State come out for registration during the CVR. I also want to warn people, all those who have registered before should not come out. It's an offense, because Yoruba people say, if you chase two things, you will lose it, because your registration will be nullified.
As the online registration progresses ahead of the physical exercise beginning August 25, 2025, citizens are urged to exercise their fundamental rights to foster a more inclusive democratic society. Abidemi Akinrotoye, Osrc News.
Now we go on the quick commercial break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go anywhere.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m. all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Thank you for rejoining us. The Federal Ministry of Works has deployed advanced engineering solutions to reinforce a section of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway being threatened by ocean surge. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, reviewed during the tour of the projects in Lagos that the ocean near threat to the project. Umahi pointed out that the failure to address the weak spots could undermine the entire project. The minister also dismissed social media reports alleging lack of drainage on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. He clarified that the project has 750 kilometers of underground drainage systems. Umahi explained that natural disruption like rainfall occur because the project is still ongoing. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has invited Comfort Amazin and a member of the Ibom Air cabin crew, Juliana Edward, for further investigation into a reported air flight from Uyo to Lagos on August 10. The agency's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimogo, confirmed that he spoke with Amazin earlier that day and that both she and the crew involved had been summoned for continued inquiry. Our Emergency National Civil Aviation Security Committee and stakeholders meeting in Abuja, he clarified that the pilot did not call in security personnel upon landing in Lagos as the issue seemed resolved during the flight. Assuring the public of transparency, Achimogo said the NCAA remains committed to uncovering all the facts surrounding the incident. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Civil Aviation Authority has said that all mobile phones must be completely switched off during a flight takeoff. Director General of Authority, Captain Chris Najomo, during a stakeholders meeting said that regulation concerning phones and other electronic devices in Nigeria has now been unified, stressing that the widely accepted flight mode option will no longer be it. Najomo said the authority was committed to enforcing stricter compliance by both airlines and passengers while also introducing public enlightenment campaigns to sensitize travelers on their responsibilities. And now we move to the foreign scene. Hamas agreed to a 60-day ceasefire proposal with Israel, and Egyptian officials say that this includes the release of half the hostages held in Gaza in exchange for the release of some Palestinian prisoners. Ifeoluwa Aroboshegbe tells us more.
Hamas has agreed to a 60-day ceasefire proposal with Israel, according to an Egyptian official who said on Monday that it includes the release of half of hostages held in Gaza in exchange for the release of some Palestinian prisoners. A senior Hamas official confirmed the group's approval of the proposal. Israeli media, citing government sources, said the Hamas response had been received. A source familiar with the matter said the proposal closely mirrored an earlier plan put forward by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, which said Israel had accepted. The announcement comes as Israel plans to seize control of Gaza City, which Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described as Hamas's last bastion. Thousands of Palestinians in the area have left their homes, which are now under constant Israeli bombardment.
Our situation is tough. Transport is extremely difficult. We have no money, no income, no work. I am heading south because I need to ease my mental state. I do not want to keep moving left and right endlessly. There is no life left. And as you can see, living conditions are hard, prices are high, and we have been without work for over a year and a half. It is very, very difficult.
The UN Humanitarian Office said last week that 1.35 million people were already in need of emergency shelter items in Gaza. The Israeli military said it was preparing to help equip Gazans with tents and other shelter equipment ahead of relocating them from combat zones to the south of the enclave. It did not provide further details on quantities or how long it would take to get the equipment into Gaza. Ifeoluwa Aruwishegbe, Osrc News.
And with our reports from the foreign scene, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that INEC has urged Nigerians to commence with their voters' registration through the online portal ahead of fiscal exercise. And as World Max Humanitarian Day celebrations, stakeholders have highlighted the urgent need for long-term strategies to support communities facing crisis, especially flooding in Ondo State. And the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has announced a new policy requiring passengers to switch off electronic devices during civil flights. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.